You're listening to Unlocking Our Sound Heritage and Voices from Christmas Past, brought to you by Manx National Heritage, the charity responsible for the Isle of Man's natural and cultural heritage. The sound recordings you'll hear today and throughout this series on Manx Radio are part of a unique collection of around 600 sound recordings, digitised from the Manx National Heritage Sound Archive and available now online for the first time. The team at Manx National Heritage hope you enjoy eavesdropping on the voice clips we've chosen from the nation's sound archive, all of which can be listened to in full at imuseum.im.
Let's start with some Manx Christmas traditions. Here Mr Pigott, interviewed in 1951, talks about church services on Eel Very. In English, that's the Eve of Mary, or Christmas Eve.
At Christmas time, there was an Eel Very held in Maloo Church on Christmas night. And Mr Taggart, old Mr Taggart, came down from Grenaby and played his fiddle and sung solos in Manx. And the church we packed out with people, packed out. They had forms down through the aisles. There'd be 600 or 700 people in of a Christmas night. Big do. Yeah, big do. Yeah. I think that's about it.
In this 1971 interview, Mr and Mrs Comish of Grenaby describe a Manx Christmas in Kerrokeal Chapel, which was held in January.
Did you held the Eel Berries then, did you, in the Kerrokeal Chapel?
Yes, in Kerrokeal Chapel. And on the 4th of January. And it was in my grandmother's times and in my grandparents' times, it was always held on the 4th of January. At that time, they had 2 preachers or speakers, and there wasn't room for the people to sit in chapel. There were so many coming. But since then, it was until about 21 years ago, it was just an ordinary Christmas service with the ordinary Christmas hymns. But we always finished with Come Let Us Anew, Our Journey Pursue. That was the last hymn. But 21 years ago, somebody suggested that the Russian Silver Band would like to come up. So since then, they've been coming up every year to the Eel Very. And I think this last year was the 21st time for them to be up. And the people comes from all over, there were some there from Douglas, Port Erin and Port St Mary. And since we've had the band, we give them a Manx supper too. And always the collection and whatever we make goes to the National Children's Home. This year was the best. We had £20 to send to the National Children's Home, which for a little place like this is very good, I think.
Another Manx tradition is the White Boys play. First, let's hear Peter Hayhurst, who in this 1991 interview explains what the White Boys is all about.
And who are the people?
Well, before you answer that, what is or are the White Boys?
The White Boys are, the White Boys play, which is what we were doing, was it's a sort of mummer's play, maybe. It's a play for about 7 characters. And the characters are, there's someone who introduces you, the prologue. There's some noble knights. There's St George, St Denis, St Patrick for England, St George, France, St Denis, Ireland, St Patrick. There is a doctor character. Prince Valentine. That will be another play, though.
Little Devil Doubt.
Do you do actually different plays?
There are 2 plays, to my knowledge. There may well be more, and I think in England there are variants of both plays found. I don't think it's a particularly Manx venture. There certainly aren't any particularly Manx characters in them. in the play that I know of anyway. And then the other play, as John said, mentions characters like Prince Valentine and a Turk, was that?
Yes, Turkish Knight.
The Turkish Knight, that's right. I haven't personally done that play.
Here Robert Cormode recalls his part in The White Boys and a performance in Andreas.
Well, what do you remember then about the White Boys, Mr.
Well,
Commode?
in the first place, I go back 60 odd years. When I first started, I was a boy of 11. Before that was 11, I was 11 years of age, and I continued in the White Boys for four Christmases. One Christmas in particular, we went to Andreas, done the houses along the road. Of course, there weren't so many in those days, houses, you know. And we went on the houses, and then we got eventually into Andreas village. Well, the best place to do anything, naturally, was the pub, the Grosvenor. Well, we got there, and we came out, and we were wending our way back when we got clogged with sods. So, of course, that ruined our uniforms, you see. And I was in a hat, a long hat, like an admiral's hat, all done with paper, and the other men had round hats, and they were done with this crinkly paper. That was the dress, like, and they had white trousers, white coats, and black and white trousers. Now I had an old frock-tail coat and black trousers, and I was the doctor.
If you're ready for a bit of noise, let's hear the children of Dhoon School performing a fight scene from the White Boys play.
Oh yeah, my master, I soon will thee obey. With sword in hand I hope to gain the day. Art thou the knave who singly standeth there, who slew my master's only son and heir? He challenged me to fight, and why should I deny? He cut my coat so full of rent and made all me buttons fly. And if that rascal had the honour to obtain, why, sir, he would have said you just the same. I'll try if thou art born of noble race, I'll make thy blood come trickling down thy face. And if thou dost another word against my master say, right through thy yellow belly I'll carve an open way. Oh God, come take this dismal corpse away, for in my sight it shall no longer stay.
Now let's hear the Dhoon School children singing and demanding money with menaces at the end of their performance.
Christmas is coming and the geese are getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, God bless you. Here come I that never come yet, with me big head and me little wit. My wit is so small, I think we've done our best to please you all. Here come I, little diddle doubt. If you don't give us any money, I'll sweep you all out. For it's money we want, it's money we crave, and if thou don't give us any money, I'll sweep you all in your graves. My hat is dumb and cannot speak. Please give us something for Christmas Day.
Now to another Manx tradition. Often sung at Christmas, Manx Gaelic carvels are unique to the Isle of Man, as Claire Clennell explains in an interview with Manx Radio.
Is this a form of writing that you found elsewhere other than the Isle of Man?
No, it is said to be absolutely unique. And I feel this is something that has never been emphasized enough, that we have something of which we should be very proud in the island. It's a part of our heritage, which is absolutely unique to the island and to the island people. And it has not perhaps been appreciated. And in these days of conservation and preservation, it really should be emphasized much more, that we do have our own individual music and language and style of putting the two together, producing our own very beautiful folk songs. Those, I think, are quite different from anything else. They're very narrative, as you say. So are the Carlin Gilgach, and there's nothing like them. They are unique in European literature. I think this has been printed by an expert somewhere.
Here, Claire explains that not all churchgoers enjoyed the sometimes lengthy carvels.
When you say that there are a considerable number of verses to these, A, it must have been a little bit tedious for other people to have to listen to them, I suppose, in church. And B, they must have repeated a theme over and over in these verses. Have you had to edit them down a bit?
Oh, yes, naturally. There are anything from 20 to 90 verses. And the story is that the young girls used to fill their pockets with dried peas. And when they got a little bit bored, they used to start pelting their boyfriends with them. And, of course, everything broke up in confusion. And it is said that this is why the practice died out of singing these carvlin at the Eelverry. That's the Christmas Eve service. But I think it's more likely because the language began to die out. The Manx Gaelic speakers emigrated, and there's an influx of English people, and times changed considerably in every way. And this is what happened to it.
In this 1986 recording, Constance Radcliffe reads an extract from Miss Farragher's Manx dialect poem, Christmas in Mackald. It tells the tale of a group of carol singers.
Well, one fine night we started off at Kiljonagh. But them Scrooges wouldn't give you fresh air. Even made the dogs throw us down to the high road. Near had the leg off me, the dirt snapping there. So off we cleared down the hill to Ballistruan, and good mighty we done with them ones and all, and we sing while shepherds watched over and over for the owl granda laid up in bed, Midland Mall. Ballavura House was as dark as the grave, girl, with the whole scutch of them at some young farmers do. But the Ballislew lot was rail pleased to see us, with lashings of jock and mince pies and cake too. My, that jock was good though. It warmed as a treat, girl. And after that, how Lil John James let it rip. Aye, crown him, he was bawling, crown him, instead of Silent Night, like the rest of the trip. And crown him, he was bellering with gusto when Flo's umbrella crowned him. Then, goy, what a fight. Battered till a circus it was, I can tell you, with us ones singing, all is calm, all is bright. But we soon smoothed things over and got going to the farms all above the top road. But that steep hill from the Jalla near Bet Me, I believe is worse till the one at Tramode. So we took a rest in the wall of some garden, and I was nice and warm in me seal cape and fur, and me best hat trimmed up with bright pansies, perched on a bandeau on me silvery white hair.
Let's listen to George Freestone talking about another Manx tradition, Hunt the Wren. In his time, they did it properly, don't you know?
And then the white boys, as I say, led up to Christmas. And then after Christmas, you see, we had then the Hunt the Wren, which was on Boxing Day. And and Mrs. Brain, who lived in the terrace right opposite the gasworks, in fact she lived in number 9 Milner Terrace, and she decked us out in yellow and green crepe paper with a hoop and a wren on the top, and we went round, not like these drunken yobs today come out of on the wren, no, we did the hunt around proper. And we got a few shillings, you know, which didn't matter. We enjoyed doing it.
Mrs. Corkish, here in conversation with her daughter, talks about the excitement of Christmas Eve.
Christmas Day, start with Christmas, or Christmas Eve.
We were always very excited to get to bed as early as we could, because we knew that Father Christmas would come soon after we were in bed.
Where you put your stockings up?
On the hat stand.
The hat stand?
All in a row on the hat stand in the hall. And when we came down in the morning, and there our stockings were hanging. Sometimes there's a white mouse peeping up out of the top, made of sugar, you know. And sometimes there's an orange in there, and an apple. And all the excitement, taking them down, and we had them nearly all day before we started to eat them.
Did you?
Yes.
Were they mostly things to eat?
Were
they mostly things to eat?
Oh, yes.
We didn't get toys?
No, I don't think so. We might have got perhaps a box of pencils, slate pencils. In those days we used slates and pencils.
What were the slate pencils like?
Oh, they were very nice, coloured slate.
Just pieces
like
of
a tile.
Just pieces of slate, were they? The pencils?
Yes.
That you wrote with?
They were round and whitish, whitey grey. And there was a piece of paper on the handle part, coloured paper, which made it look very attractive.
Did they make your fingers dirty?
Pardon?
Did they make your fingers dirty when you used them? That charcoal?
No, not enough to make a fuss about it. Because the paper that was on them, that was also very attractive. Sometimes we would get a lead pencil. That was a slate pencil.
In 1990, Mrs. Gladys Neal recalled how her childhood Christmas was tinged with sadness, but left her with a lifelong love of apples.
Come on, anything more you want now?
The apples at the top of the stairs.
Oh yes, for Christmas. You don't sit and laugh at me. The Christmas, we didn't get a Christmas present from my father, because my mother died just after I went home. She died in 1909, and I'd just gone home in 1908, so I don't remember much about my mum. But my father, for Christmas, we always had a great big barrel of York Imperials, I think they called them, apples at the top of the stairs. Those we could go up and use whenever we wanted an apple and get them. And I thought that was wonderful, that big barrel of apples. And I was still having an apple for breakfast every morning. So as you can tell, that's my breakfast every day, an apple.
So you never hung a stocking up?
No.
Did you know that the post office used to deliver mail on Christmas Day? In this 2008 conversation with Bill Quine for Peel Heritage Trust, Herbert Watterson tells us about a postman who got stranded on Christmas Day.
The early days of my time in the post office, we delivered on Christmas Day, and I don't remember it being a problem. We just accepted that we delivered the Christmas mail on Christmas Day, and it was usually a heavy delivery. And again, I know that Lionel used to have his Christmas dinner at this particular farm. Towards the end of, just before the Christmas deliveries finished, he arrived at this farm there was a big build-up of cloud around and snow forecast, but the farmer assured him that the snow was not coming for a while yet. So Lionel stayed and had his Christmas dinner. Unfortunately, by the time he came out from the farm, there was about 4 to 6 inches of snow on the road, and he found that he had to put his bike on his shoulder and walk the rest of the delivery. And I'm talking possibly 5 miles from home. So it was not a good Christmas Day for Lionel with this long walk. Christmas Day delivery's finished. I can well remember the date because it was the year before I was married. The last Christmas Day delivery was 1960, which suited me fine because next year I had been married during that 1961 and I was free for Christmas Day with my family.
Finally, let's listen to Mr. and Mrs. Summersgill, Charles Alfred Kinraid and Lily Louisa Kinraid, as they celebrate Christmas Day at home in 1962.
We're going to have Hunt the Wren now, Lily.
I
hope you enjoy it. By Mr. and Mrs. Kinraid.
And Mrs. Summersgill.
Perhaps.
We'll hunt the wrens,
says Robin the Bum. We'll hunt the wrens, says Richie the Rum. We'll hunt the wrens, says Jackie the Lamb. We'll hunt the wrens, says everyone. Where, oh, where, says Robin the Bum. Where, oh, where, says Richie the Rum. Where, oh, where, says Jackie the Lamb. Where, oh, where, says everyone. In yonder green bush, says Robin the Bob, and in yonder green bush, says Richie the Robin. In yonder green bush, says Jackie the Lamb. In yonder green bush, says everyone. How will we catch him, says Robin the Bob. How will we catch him, says Richie the Robin. How will we catch him, says Jackie the Lamb. How will we catch him, says everyone. Sticks and stones, says Robin the Bob. Sticks and stones, says Richie the Robin. Sticks and stones, says Jackie the Lamb. Sticks and stones, says everyone.
He's down, says Robin the Bob. He's down, says Richie the Robin. He's down, says Jackie the Lamb. He's down, says everyone. How'll we get him home, says Robin the Bob.
How'll we get him home, says Richie the Robin. How'll we get him home, says Jackie the Lamb. How'll we get him home, says everyone.
We'll hire a cat,
says Robin the Bob.
We'll hire a cat, says Richie the Robin. We'll hire a cat, says Jackie the Lamb. We'll hire a cat, says everyone. Whose cat, Robin the Bob? Whose cat, says Richie the Robin? Whose cat, Jackie the Lamb? Whose cat, says everyone? The brewery cat, says Robin the Bob. The brewery cat, says Richie the Robin. The brewery cat, says Jackie the Lamb. The brewery cat, says everyone. Cook 'em. How'll we cook 'em, says Robin the Bob. How'll we cook 'em, says Richie the Robin. How'll we cook 'em, says Jackie the Lamb. How'll we cook 'em, says everyone. In the oven, says Robin the Bob. In the oven, says Richie the Robin. In the oven, says Jackie the Lamb. In the oven, says everyone. What's the next? I forget.
It's like that there was a hole in the bucket.
Good house, Robin the Bob. That's when you collect. Good house, Robin the Bob. Good house, Richie the Robin. Good house, Jackie the Lamb. Good house, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Voices from Christmas Past. Join us next time for Childhood Games and Memories, or in the meantime, listen again on the podcast available on the Manx Radio website. You can visit imuseum.im and click on Unlocking Our Sound Heritage to listen to these and many more sound recordings from the Manx National Heritage Sound Archive. To find out more about the charity Manx National Heritage and how you can support us, visit our website manxnationalheritage.im or join us on Facebook. To finish, let's hear Silent Night, here sung in Manx at Kirkbraden. Happy Christmas from us.